Hello guys, welcome back to my channel Travel Bookmark, and I hope you like this video. This video is all about my Vietnam trip that I had just had few months ago. So I'm gonna share all my learnings from there, why I chose to go to a particular city called Da Nang, what all did I do I shouldn't have done, and what all misguided things were there on social media and when I went there, and how did I regret it. So keep watching this video till end to know everything about. So guys, let's start from the first thing. Why did I choose to go to Da Nang? Now, whenever you plan to go to any city, that's how I do it. Whenever I plan to go to any particular city, I check the map. How big is that country? Even though Vietnam looks small on the map, but when I went there, I realized how far south was to north. And that's why it was very important that you choose the right port to go there, because otherwise you will not be able to see everything in 7 days. Especially when you have very limited days to go somewhere, it's very important that you decide where you start from, because then it's so much convenient for you to take that round and come back and then leave. So when I was looking at Vietnam, I realized there are three major cities: Ho Chi Minh, Hanoi, and Da Nang. Now, when I looked at the map, Ho Chi Minh is extreme south, Hanoi is extreme north, but Da Nang was somewhere in middle, not very like central one, but it was somewhere in the middle. Now, after that, I started marking those places I really wanted to go in those 7 days. And I realized the major places that I wanted to go were either near Da Nang or Hanoi. So then I realized and did more research and came to know that Ho Chi Minh as a city is a very big city. But in that particular city, there's really nothing to see. Nothing that you would really want to go and see, but it's got a bigger port, so the flight options are very easy. There are so many flights that go, so there are so many options for you, and that's why people go there. But otherwise, when you land in that city, that particular city doesn't have much to do other than giving you a city vibe. But then you have to travel towards the north to go to all the other places that you really want to go. So how I decided was like, if I'm not doing really anything in Ho Chi Minh, why am I even paying for it? So I started looking at the flights. That's the first advice I would give, is start looking the flight prices, because then you will be able to decide the exact place you really want to go. Go on Google, say you want to go from Melbourne to any of those flights that you really want to, like any of the city that you really want to go, and keep it like going to Vietnam. And then you'll have so many flights options that will generate. That would be your first cue, that which are the cheapest one. So for me, in my case, cheapest one were either Ho Chi Minh and then Da Nang. But then when I was looking, I realized that the amount of money I would have saved would be the same amount I would use to travel from Ho Chi Minh to Da Nang, and I would have wasted days. So I realized that if I'm only saving like $100, why am I even wasting that much money? So guys, tip 2, when you are in Vietnam, and I was advised by a lot of people who have traveled to Vietnam, that download an app called Grab. Now, this is the app which will help you book your taxi, order food. It's exactly like Uber and not a scam. Your card details are very safe there, and you can attach your international card to that particular thing, and then it will directly do the transaction. The transactions are not too costly. They take the very genuine price on it, so it's not at all like you should be scared of that particular. So after Da Nang, we ended up going to Hoi An, which is a small city, which is like a 45 minutes drive from Da Nang airport. And it didn't cost a lot. I've mentioned all my costings and everything in my first vlog of everything that I've done. But by the end of this particular vlog, I'm gonna write down. And was one of the places that was the second destination that we went. And we stayed like 2 nights over there. And then on the third day, we left for Hanoi. Now, the reason we went to Hanoi was because Hanoi was a place where the whole Halong Bay was, and where all Ninh Binh was. So all these places were like very important, like the must add in your itinerary thing. And when we were in Hanoi, we realized that the biggest issue we were having is our particular hotel was a bit away from the main circle, which I've also mentioned in my second vlog. So if you go to Hanoi, make sure that you're living in that particular area, so it's cheap, so it's easier for you to travel. Now, the reason we stayed further away was because we were getting a really good deal of a 5-star hotel, and cheaper as well. And now I know the reason why it was cheaper is because of that. But then we took Grab again, and it didn't cost it as much. So even if you're getting a better deal and if you decide to stay outside, it's still not really bad, because you can get taxi like this and you can reach there very quickly. It's the only thing is that they won't pick you from the hotel, and the only thing is they're not going to drop you, but your transport is not that not a problem at all, so you can really take the taxi and come, and it's not an issue. Also, when we went there, we realized it was a way bigger city than Hoi An was, because Hoi An was a small town and that was the first city we went to. There are a lot of big malls if you want to shop from there. The costing was not much difference when you come from Australia to Vietnam. It was almost the same when it comes to brand, but there were a lot of small markets and small shops. So if you really want to go shop something from there, they really did had a lot of options. So if you want to shop, you can definitely. Is this particular train line, which is right in the middle, and it's a small lane, and the train goes from the next to all the houses. Now, the most funny part about that particular city was it was a huge city. The roads were huge. So it was a very hard to decide that why do they have the small street where the houses are so close, where the train is going right in the middle. Now, the funny part is every single street in Hanoi was huge and big except this one. अब ये छोटी इसलिए थी क्योंकि इन लोग ने स्पेशली टूरिस्ट अट्रैक्शन के लिए रखी थी, बिकॉज उन्हें लगता था कि टूरिस्ट के लिए ये बहुत ही डिफरेंट है, सो पीपल वुड कम एंड एक्चुअली डू सम शूट, सो दे एक्चुअली केप्ट इट दैट वे, विच इज वेरी फनी, एंड पीपल वर एक्चुअली गोइंग देयर, एंड द ट्रेन wasn't coming there often. The train times always change. You don't know when the train is coming, so you're sitting there for hours and hours, and there are lots of people there. It was just waste of someone's time. And when I saw that particular place, I was like, we passed by and I was like, it's not even worth, because those cafes over there will not let you sit till the time you're not buying something, and then you're just waiting there, and as soon as the train comes they make you stand, because obviously everything keeps moving there. It was not a fun experience, and trust me, not even worth. So guys, food, I'm sure for a lot of you guys over there, अगर आप वेजिटेरियन हो और आपको ये स्ट्रेस है कि वियतनाम ऐसी जगह है जहाँ हमें शायद खाना ना मिले, तो डोंट वरी अबाउट इट. वो जगह पे तुमको सारे ऑप्शंस मिलते हैं, तुम्हें वेज ऑप्शन भी मिलेगा. यू कैन ऑल्सो हैव लॉट्स एंड लॉट्स ऑफ इंडियन रेस्टोरेंट्स. जब आप ग्रैब ऐप खोलोगे, द फूड ऑप्शंस ओवर देयर हैड लॉट्स ऑफ वेजिटेरियन ऑप्शंस. सो डोंट वरी अबाउट not getting right food, or you're not liking food, or it's not safe to eat or anything. The food options were humongous, and you can literally eat like so many things over there. So even forget about Indian food or vegetarian food, the food on the street itself had an option of veg food. Also, what I came to know when I was in Hanoi was there is this popular cruise trip where you can stay in the cruise for one night and you come back the next day. If you don't have enough days, don't waste your time there. So what happens is they take you in the morning, they make you do every single activity on that particular day. In the evening, they'll park the cruise in Halong Bay itself. You stay there at night, you wake up, it's a beautiful view and everything, but when you come back like in the afternoon, so you practically wasted an entire night. You're not doing much the second day, it's barely something that you're doing, but main activities that you should have done is already done on the same day. Next day was our last day in Vietnam, and we went to Bana Hills. Bana Hills, like a must thing to do. It's so beautiful, so amazing. Like you can see in my last vlog, part 3, Vietnam part 3, where we have done like the whole Bana Hill, and it takes an entire day. Now with my entire Vietnam trip, there's one thing that I will surely recommend is carry an umbrella, because it's really hot, or carry a hat. It gets really hot over there. चाहे आप अप्रैल में जाओ, चाहे आप उसके कोई भी सीजन में जाओ, काफ़ी गर्मी होती है. And then staying out there in sun for this long is not good for your health. So to avoid dehydration, drink. जब आप वियतनाम जा रहे हो, तो make sure करो कि आप cash carry करने की ज़रूरत नहीं है, because the ATMs over there has an option to get a converted cash. Next thing you should be very careful of, one thing when you plan your trip, is the weather. They say start of April is a decent time to go there, because that's the most decent weather that they have, because it's a tropical city and it can get really really hot over there. Also tours, not trying to promote anyone or anything, but I realized कि जब आप खुद जाते हो तो आपको बहुत सारी चीज़ें पता नहीं होती, बहुत सारी चीज़ का नॉलेज नहीं होता, जाना आना मुश्किल हो जाता है, बिकॉज लैंग्वेज इज़ अ बैरियर ओवर देयर, एंड बहुत लोगों को इंग्लिश नहीं आती है, तो यू विल ऑलवेज हैव टू राइट इन गूगल ट्रांसलेट एंड शो इट टू दैम, एंड देन दिल लुक एंड देन दिल आंसर. It's a chaos. One more most important thing that I would mention is that instant stick village. It's really hyped up on social media, this instant stick village. You will see it in every single vlogs on social media, every single people putting their reels on social media. And when I went there, it was literally like a backyard where they have literally dipped the sticks and put it in a very decorative way. It's not like, oh my god, it's a farm that you've gone to. No, it's literally like a warehouse where they have this particular factory जहाँ पे ये बनाते हैं instant stick. Instant stick weren't even very genuine. मुझे उसकी smell भी इतनी अच्छी नहीं लगी, इतना genuine भी नहीं लगा. I'm sure they're the major provider of to many countries. So with this, I end every single thing that I've learned in Vietnam. If you have any questions, do comment, like, and share this video. And I hope you like this video.